First contact and deception. The starship Horizon glided silently through the inky void, its sleek hull barely visible against the backdrop of countless stars. Captain Alina Reyes stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. The tension among her crew was palpable. "Status report," Alina commanded, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. Lieutenant Commander Akira Tanaka, her second-in-command, looked up from his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the rendezvous coordinates." Alina nodded, allowing herself a small smile. The Horizon was humanity's crowning achievement, the first starship capable of faster-than-light travel. Its maiden voyage was meant to be a monumental step for Earth, first contact with an alien civilization. The Zarkonian Empire had reached out to Earth just months ago, extending an invitation for diplomatic talks. Their message spoke of peace, cultural exchange, and the sharing of knowledge. It was everything humanity had hoped for when they looked to the stars. As the Horizon decelerated, a massive shape materialized before them. The Zarkonian diplomatic vessel was a sight to behold, a sprawling, organic-looking construct that seemed to pulse with an inner light. "It's beautiful," whispered Ensign Maria Lopes from her station at Sensors, "and about 5 times our size," added Lieutenant John Chen, the tactical officer, his voice tinged with both awe and concern. Alina straightened her uniform. "Open a channel, Lieutenant Chen." The view screen flickered to life, revealing the alien bridge. The Zarkonians were tall, willowy creatures with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. Their ambassador, Zixlana, stepped forward. "Greetings, humans of Earth." Zixlana's voice was melodious, almost hypnotic. "We welcome you to the stars." Alina bowed slightly. "On behalf of Earth and all of humanity, we thank you for this historic opportunity, Ambassador Zixlana." What followed were hours of polite conversation and cultural exchange. The Zarkonians appeared genuinely interested in human history, art, and science. They shared tantalizing glimpses of their own advanced technology, speaking of faster-than-light drives that could cross the galaxy in days and energy sources that could power entire planets. As the diplomatic dance continued, Alina couldn't shake a nagging feeling in the back of her mind. Something about the Zarkonians' body language, the way their eyes darted about the Horizon's bridge, it all seemed off. During a break in the talks, Alina pulled Akira aside. "What do you make of them?" she asked in a low voice. Akira furrowed his brow. "They're accommodating. Almost too accommodating. And did you notice how they keep asking about our defenses and resource production capabilities?" Alina nodded grimly. "I did. Keep our shields at maximum, just in case, and have John run continuous scans of their ship. I want to know if they so much as sneeze in our direction." As the diplomatic session resumed, the Zarkonians proposed a toast to new friendships. Alina raised her glass, all smiles on the outside, but inwardly on high alert. Little did the humans know, but aboard the Zarkonian vessel, a very different conversation was taking place. Supreme Commander Vexthor towered over his subordinates, his skin shimmering with barely contained excitement. "The humans suspect nothing," he hissed. "Their ship is impressive for such a young race, but it is no match for our fleet." Sub-Commander Krylax chittered nervously. "But Supreme Commander, is this deception necessary? The humans seem willing to share their knowledge freely." Vexthor's eyes flashed dangerously. "Fool! Why negotiate when we can simply take? Their world is ripe for conquest, their resources ours for the plundering. Once we deal with this lone ship, Earth will be defenseless." As the Zarkonians finalized their plans, the Horizon continued its mission of peace, blissfully unaware of the storm about to break. Back on the Horizon, Alina was reviewing the day's diplomatic progress with her senior staff when alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. "Multiple contacts dropping out of FTL," John shouted, his fingers flying over his console. It's a Zarkonian battle fleet." Alina's blood ran cold as she watched dozens of warships materialize around them, their weapon ports glowing ominously. The view screen flickered to life, revealing Vex Thor's triumphant face. "Foolish humans," he sneered. "Did you really think we would share our galaxy with such primitive beings? Surrender now, and we may allow some of you to live as our slaves." Alina's mind raced. The horizon was outnumbered and outgunned, but they had come too far, risked too much, to give up now. Humanity's future hung in the balance. She stood tall, her voice unwavering as she addressed her crew. "This is not how first contact was supposed to go. But if it's a fight they want, then by God, we'll give them one they'll never forget." As the Zarkonian fleet closed in, the horizon's experimental systems hummed to life. Humanity was about to show the galaxy that appearances could be deceiving, and that underestimating Earth would be the greatest mistake the Zarkonians had ever made. The ambush and surprising defense. The space around the horizon erupted in a dazzling display of weapons fire as the Zarkonian fleet unleashed its first salvo. Beams of searing energy and swarms of missiles converged on the lone human vessel, threatening to obliterate it in seconds. "Brace for impact," Alina shouted, gripping her command chair. But the expected devastation never came. Instead, the bridge crew watched in awe as the incoming fire splashed harmlessly against an invisible barrier, dissipating in spectacular bursts of light. Lieutenant Chen's voice was filled with disbelief and excitement. "Captain, our quantum deflector shield is holding. No damage reported." A predatory smile spread across Alina's face. "Excellent. It seems our R&D boys and girls came through after all. Now let's show these Zarkonians what else we've got up our sleeves." Tactical, target the lead vessel and fire the graviton cannon. The horizon's main weapon sprang to life, emitting a barely visible distortion in space-time that lanced out towards the Zarkonian flagship. When it struck, the effects were catastrophic. The massive alien vessel seemed to crumple in on itself, its hull buckling and twisting as if crushed by an invisible giant's hand. On the Zarkonian command ship, Supreme Commander Vex Thor watched in horror as one of his prized dreadnoughts imploded. "Impossible," he snarled. "How can these primitives possess such technology? All ships, concentrate fire on that human vessel. Destroy it at all costs." The space around the horizon lit up once more as the entire Zarkonian fleet opened fire. This time, the quantum deflector shield flickered and strained under the assault. "Shield strength down to 60%, reported Chen, his fingers dancing over his console to reroute power. "We can't take much more of this, Captain." Alina's mind raced. They had surprised the Zarkonians, but they were still grossly outnumbered. They needed a plan, and fast. "Akira," she called to her second-in-command. "What's the status on our experimental FTL drive?" Akira consulted his readings. "It's operational, but untested in combat conditions. We have no idea how it will perform under stress." Alina's eyes gleamed with determination. "Well, there's no time like the present to find out. Plot a series of random micro-jumps around the Zarkonian fleet. Let's see how they handle a target that won't sit still." As Akira input the commands, Alina addressed the rest of her crew. "Listen up, people. We're about to attempt something that's never been done before. Inertial dampers at maximum. Weapon systems, be ready to fire the moment we exit each jump. Medical, prepare for possible casualties. This is going to get bumpy." The horizon's engines hummed to life, building to a fever pitch. Just as another barrage of Zarkonian fire was about to hit, the human ship vanished in a flash of light. It reappeared seconds later, directly behind one of the alien cruisers. Before the Zarkonians could react, the horizon unleashed a point-blank blast from its graviton cannon, reducing the enemy ship to a cloud of twisted debris. Then, in another flash, the horizon was gone again. Over the next few minutes, the human ship performed a dizzying series of jumps, appearing and disappearing around the Zarkonian fleet like a phantom. With each jump, they struck hard and fast, crippling or destroying another enemy vessel before vanishing once more. Aboard the Zarkonian command ship, chaos reigned. Vex Thor bellowed orders, his composure shattered. Track that ship. Predict its movements. How are they jumping so quickly? But the Horizon's maneuvers defied prediction. The Zarkonian fleet, once an organized armada, devolved into a confused mass, ships firing wildly into empty space where the Horizon had been moments before. Despite their tactical advantage, the constant jumping was taking its toll on the human vessel. Warning lights flashed across every console on the bridge. "Captain," Ekura warned, his voice strained, "the FTL drive is overheating. We can't keep this up much longer." Elena nodded grimly. "Understood. Prepare for one last jump. This time, take us right into the heart of their formation. We're going to make our stand there." Elena's voice rang out clear and defiant. "All weapons, fire at will." The space around the Horizon erupted in a furious exchange of weapons fire. The quantum deflector shield glowed brightly as it strained against the onslaught, while the ship's own weapons lashed out in every direction. As the battle reached its crescendo, neither side could have predicted the shocking turn of events that was about to unfold, forever changing the balance of power in the galaxy. Turning the tables. The void of space became a deadly light show as energy beams and missiles crisscrossed between the Horizon and the surrounding Zarkonian fleet. The human ship spun and weaved, its point defense systems working overtime to intercept incoming fire, while its main weapons struck back with surprising force. On the bridge of the Horizon, klaxons blared and warning lights flashed. The ship shuddered under repeated impacts as the quantum deflector shield began to fail. Shield strength down to 15%, Lieutenant Chen reported, his voice tense. "Multiple hull breaches on decks 3 through 7. Emergency force fields are holding, but barely." Captain Elena Reyes gripped her command chair, her knuckles white. They had bloodied the Zarkonian fleet, but the enemy still outnumbered them significantly. It was time for their final gambit. "Akira," she called out, "status on Project Nexus." Her second-in-command's fingers flew over his console. "Online and ready, Captain. But I must remind you, it's never been tested in actual combat conditions. The risks air." "Noted," Elena cut him off. "But we're out of options. Prepare to activate on my mark." As the crew rushed to make final preparations, Elena opened a channel to the Zarkonian flagship. Supreme Commander Vex Thor's face appeared on the view screen, his alien features contorted with rage. "Surrender, human," he snarled. "You've fought well, but surely you must see the futility of your situation." Elena allowed herself a small, dangerous smile. "Oh, I don't think so, Vex Thor. In fact, I'd say we're just getting started. You wanted to see the full extent of human capabilities. Well, allow me to oblige." She cut the transmission and turned to her crew. "All hands, brace for Nexus activation. Akira, on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Now." Akira pressed a series of commands, and for a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then a low hum began to build throughout the ship, rising in pitch and intensity until it became almost unbearable. Suddenly, a brilliant pulse of energy erupted from the Horizon, expanding outward in a rapidly growing sphere. As it washed over the Zarkonian ships, their systems began to fail one by one. Weapons went offline, shields collapsed, and engines sputtered and died. By the void, Vex Thor whispered as he watched his mighty fleet become powerless. "What sorcery is this?" On the Horizon's bridge, Elena allowed herself a moment of triumph. "Status report. Project Nexus functioning at 100% efficiency, Captain," Akira reported, a note of awe in his voice. "The quantum entanglement field has successfully disabled all Zarkonian ships within range." Project Nexus was humanity's ace in the hole, a revolutionary technology that used quantum entanglement to create a field that selectively disrupted advanced energy systems. It was the result of years of secret research, born from humanity's determination to never again be at the mercy of a technologically superior foe. "All enemy ships are dead in space," Lieutenant Chen confirmed. Their weapons and shields are offline. They're completely vulnerable. Elena stood, her voice ringing with authority. Send a message to all Zarkonian vessels. They are to power down any remaining systems and prepare to be boarded. Any ship that fails to comply will be destroyed. As the Horizon's crew moved to secure their victory, Elena couldn't help but reflect on the irony of the situation. The Zarkonians had sought to conquer what they perceived as a weak, primitive race. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. Over the next few hours, the Horizon's crew worked tirelessly to board and secure the disabled Zarkonian ships. They encountered little resistance. Most of the alien crews were too shocked by their sudden reversal of fortune to put up much of a fight. Supreme Commander Vexthor was brought aboard the Horizon in restraints, his once proud demeanor replaced by seething, impotent rage. Elena met him in the ship's conference room, flanked by armed security officers. "I hope you realize the gravity of your actions, Vexthor," Elena said, her voice cold. "You came here under the guise of peace, only to attempt an unprovoked attack on my ship and my crew. In doing so, you've not only failed in your mission, but have also given humanity irrefutable proof of your empire's hostile intentions." Vexthor glared at her. "You may have won this battle, human, but the Zarkonian Empire spans thousands of worlds. When news of this reaches our home systems—" "Oh, I'm counting on it," Elena interrupted with a predatory smile. "In fact, I'm going to make sure that every spacefaring race in this sector learns exactly what happened here today. How a single human ship not only survived an ambush by your entire fleet, but defeated it utterly." She leaned in close, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "Let this be a lesson to you, and anyone else who might think to threaten Earth or its colonies. We may be newcomers to the galactic stage, but we are far from helpless. Underestimate humanity at your own peril." As Vexthor was led away, Elena turned to her crew. The bridge was a flurry of activity as they worked to secure their prisoners and salvage what they could from the Zarkonian vessels. "Send a message to Earth Command," she ordered. "Inform them of our situation and request immediate reinforcements. I have a feeling things are about to get very interesting in this sector of space." Little did Elena know just how prophetic her words would prove to be. As news of the Horizon's victory spread across subspace channels, it sent shockwaves through the galactic community. The defeat of the mighty Zarkonian fleet by a single human vessel was about to upset the delicate balance of power that had existed for millennia. Humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible, and the universe would never be the same again. Diplomatic fallout and alien alliances. The news of humanity's shocking victory over the Zarkonian fleet spread across the galaxy at faster than light speeds. Subspace channels buzzed with excitement, fear, and speculation. In the grand halls of alien governments and the shadowy backrooms of interstellar corporations, the balance of power was rapidly shifting. On Earth, the response was one of jubilation tinged with apprehension. Humanity had won its first major extraterrestrial conflict, but at what cost? The true test would be navigating the complex web of galactic politics that now lay before them. Captain Elena Reyes stood before the United Earth Council, her dress uniform crisp and immaculate. The eyes of every council member, and indeed the entire planet watching via holographic broadcast, were fixed upon her. "Captain Reyes," Council President Adebayo began, his deep voice resonating through the chamber, "your actions aboard the Horizon have catapulted humanity onto the galactic stage in ways we could never have anticipated. While we commend your bravery and quick thinking, we must now deal with the consequences. The galaxy is watching, and we must decide our next move carefully." Elena nodded solemnly. "I understand, Mr. President. The Horizon's encounter with the Zarkonians was just the beginning. We've received transmissions from no less than a dozen alien races in the past week alone, all seeking audiences with Earth's leadership." The council chamber erupted in murmurs. Admiral Zhao, head of Earth's fledgling space navy, leaned forward. "And what do these aliens want, Captain?" "It varies," Elena replied. Some, like the Arcturian Confederation, are offering military alliances against the Zarkonian Empire. Others, such as the Vega Syndicate, are more interested in trade agreements and technology exchange. And then there are those like the mysterious Ethereals, who simply wish to observe. Council member Dr. Ilaret Tassoni, a renowned xenoanthropologist, spoke up. We must tread carefully. Each of these races will have their own agendas. Some may genuinely seek friendship, others may attempt to manipulate us for their own gain. President Adebayo nodded gravely. Indeed, Captain Reyes, given your first-hand experience, what would you recommend as our next course of action? Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her words. Mr. President, members of the Council, I believe we must embrace our new role in the galactic community, but do so on our own terms. We should open diplomatic channels with those races that have reached out to us, but maintain a strong defensive posture. She paused, then continued with conviction. Moreover, I recommend we accelerate the production of ships equipped with our quantum deflector shields and the Nexus device. We've seen how effective these technologies are, and they may be our best deterrent against future aggression. The Council debated long into the night, weighing the risks and opportunities that lay before them. In the end, they agreed to a multifaceted approach: open diplomacy, cautious alliances, and a rapid expansion of Earth's defensive capabilities. Over the next few months, Earth became a hub of interstellar activity. Alien diplomats from a dozen worlds walked the streets of New Geneva, marveling at human culture and negotiating treaties. Human scientists worked alongside their alien counterparts, exchanging knowledge and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. But not all was peaceful. The Zarkonian Empire, humiliated by their defeat, had withdrawn to their core systems, their borders bristling with defenses. Rumors spread of a massive military buildup, of new weapons being developed to counter human technology. On the fringes of known space, other threats lurked. Pirates and mercenaries, emboldened by the upheaval, preyed on vulnerable colonies. Ancient races, long thought dormant, began to stir, their motives unknown. Amid this chaotic new reality, the Horizon and her crew found themselves at the forefront of human expansion. They were tasked with a series of vital missions, establishing outposts on distant worlds, negotiating with new alien races, and defending human interests against those who would threaten them. 6 months after the battle with the Zarkonians, Elena found herself in a tense standoff near the Rigel system. The Horizon faced a small fleet of ships belonging to the Vega Syndicate, a powerful mercantile organization known for its ruthless business practices. "They're hailing us, Captain," Lieutenant Chen reported. "On screen," Elena ordered. The image of a vegan appeared, its insectoid features unreadable. "Captain Reyes." It chittered, "I am Overseer Zaxlor of the Vega Syndicate. We have a business proposition for you and your government." Elena's eyes narrowed. "We're listening, Overseer." "The Zarkonians are amassing a great fleet," Zaxlor continued. "They mean to avenge their defeat and crush your young species. The Syndicate can offer you advanced weaponry, ships, and intelligence to aid in your defense. In return, we ask for exclusive trading rights in 3 of your star systems." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. If the Vega Syndicate's intelligence was accurate, Earth could be facing an existential threat. But could they trust these alien merchants, known for their duplicity? As she weighed her response, Elena knew that her decision could shape the future of human-alien relations for generations to come. The galaxy watched and waited, wondering if this young, upstart species would rise to meet the challenges before them, or falter and fade like so many others before. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, and the next move was hers. Humanity's galactic debut. Captain Elena Reyes stood on the bridge of the Horizon, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of the Vega Syndicate's fleet. The weight of her decision pressed heavily upon her shoulders. "Overseer Zaxlor," Elena began, her voice steady and resolute. "While we appreciate your offer, the United Earth government does not make unilateral decisions on matters of this magnitude. I will relay your proposition to my superiors. In the meantime, I suggest we meet on neutral ground to discuss the details of your intelligence regarding the Zarkonian threat. The insectoid alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Very well, Captain. We shall await your government's response. Choose the meeting place, and we will come. As the transmission ended, Alina turned to her crew. Akira, set course for Earth. Maximum speed. We need to inform the Council immediately. The journey back to Earth was tense, filled with strategy sessions and debates among the crew. Upon arrival, Alina found herself once again before the United Earth Council, this time joined by representatives from various alien races who had allied themselves with humanity. President Adebayo addressed the assembled group. Friends, allies, we face a critical juncture. The Vega Syndicate's intelligence, if accurate, suggests an imminent Zarkonian attack of unprecedented scale. We must decide how to proceed. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of voices, each race offering their perspective. The Arcturian ambassador, a being of pure energy contained within a humanoid suit, spoke. We can confirm movement within Zarkonian space, consistent with a massive fleet buildup. The threat is real. Dr. Tisoni interjected. But can we trust the Vega Syndicate? Their offer of aid comes at a steep price. Alina stepped forward. Council members, allies, if I may. In the months since our encounter with the Zarkonians, we've learned much about galactic politics. We've made friends, but also enemies. The Zarkonians won't stop with Earth. Their defeat here has wounded their pride, and they'll seek to make an example of us. She paused, looking around the room. I propose a third option. Instead of relying solely on our own strength or becoming indebted to the Vega Syndicate, we should leverage the alliances we've built, a united front of multiple races standing together against Zarkonian aggression. The room fell silent as the implications of Alina's words sank in. Then, slowly, voices of agreement began to rise. Over the next weeks, a flurry of diplomatic activity swept across known space. The Horizon, now joined by a small fleet of Earth's newest ships, embarked on a whirlwind tour of allied worlds. Alina found herself at the center of negotiations, her experiences on the front line lending weight to her words. On Arcturus Prime, she stood before the Energy Beings Grand Council, making her case. On Vega, she engaged in tense negotiations with the Syndicate, leveraging their fear of Zarkonian expansion to secure a more favorable deal. Even the enigmatic ethereals, usually content to observe, were persuaded to lend their considerable technological expertise to the alliance. As news of the growing coalition spread, other races began to take notice. Those who had been fence-sitting now rushed to join, not wanting to be left behind in this new galactic order. 3 months after the Vega Syndicate's warning, long-range sensors detected the Zarkonian armada on the move. It was even larger than anticipated. Thousands of ships, including massive dreadnoughts that dwarfed anything seen before. But as the Zarkonian fleet approached Earth's solar system, they found not a lone planet ripe for conquest, but the combined might of a dozen alien races. Ships of all shapes and sizes filled the space around Earth. Swift Arcturian cruisers, massive vegan carriers, sleek human vessels bristling with updated Nexus devices, and more. On the bridge of the Horizon, now the flagship of this unprecedented alliance, Alina watched as the Zarkonian fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel. She opened a channel to the enemy flagship. This is Captain Alina Reyes of United Earth, speaking on behalf of the Galactic Coalition. Zarkonian fleet, you are outnumbered and outgunned. Stand down and withdraw, or face the combined might of a united galaxy. For a tense moment, there was no response. Then, to everyone's shock, the Zarkonian ships began to power down their weapons. A transmission came through, and the face of a new Zarkonian leader appeared on screen. I am High Chancellor Zorax, the alien said, its voice tinged with a mixture of awe and resignation. We miscalculated. We thought to conquer a weak, isolated species. Instead, we find ourselves facing the united front of the galaxy's powers. The Zarkonian Empire surrenders and requests to open diplomatic channels. As cheers erupted across the coalition fleet, Elena couldn't help but smile. In a matter of months, humanity had gone from an unknown species to the linchpin of a galactic alliance. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, not through brute force, but through diplomacy, innovation, and the ability to unite diverse peoples against a common threat. The battle that never was marked the dawn of a new era. The Galactic Coalition, born in crisis, now turned its attention to exploration, scientific advancement, and maintaining peace among the stars. Earth, once a backwater planet, became a central hub of interstellar politics and culture. As for Captain Elena Reyes and the crew of the Horizon, they found themselves hailed as heroes across a dozen worlds. But for them, this was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and dangers yet unknown. And humanity, having made its grand debut on the cosmic stage, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned, and humanity, united with its new allies, answered the call.